Hello. Sound like the fucking Sonic guy from the, what was that? Frozen. Hello. Oh, fuck. Anyway, hi, y'all. Thanks for coming to another one of these stupid fucking things. Uh, I want to talk about something different, and that's AI, or mainly AI art. I've been experimenting with uh, with AI art a lot lately. Kind of really to see what all the hubbub was about. You know what I mean? Currently, I'm using two programs. One, I signed an agreement. I'm not allowed to say what it's called because it's in development, but it's being developed as a. It's going to be a new feature for Instagram, apparently. I just so happened to fill in one of the spots as a beta tester. So the program itself is in development, and I can't say what it's called, and I can't recommend it because, again, it's not ready. So, yeah. It's not bad for the most part. Uh, it's very picturesque, as it were, although it comes off more as a. How do I want to phrase this? It comes off more as a. It's like Photoshop, but without the work. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all it is. Uh, yeah, there's some control to an extent, but not really that much. And the intelligence and artificial intelligence is sorely lacking. The problem seems like the algorithm doesn't seem to be very good at learning. So that's been the biggest problem that not only me but other beta testers have been having as well. And the other one, I can't remember what it's called. I know it's one of the free ones that you can do so many images out the gate for free, but like once you hit that maximum, like you can only do so many until you have to watch an ad or whatever. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It starts with it's like Rolio AI or something like that. I'm not gonna look. I'm already filming. I would have to stop this video. I'm not doing that. That one though offers a lot more control, and but when I say control, is it's interesting to give you guys a quick explanation really fast to how it operates. You filter in your template image, and then it actually identifies all the traits of the image, of the person in the image. So like if I put myself, it puts me up as a. Actually, it's misidentified me as Hispanic and Latino a couple of times. But it identifies me as fundamentally a biological man with black hair and brown eyes. Okay. Uh, I filtered an image of my ex into it, and it identified her as a white woman with brown hair, brown eyes. Pretty apt. I also filtered an image of Dylan Mulvaney through it, and it identified him as a biological man. That's the only reason I haven't uninstalled it, because it's based as fuck. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But jokes aside, I've gotten some some pretty cool images out of some of this stuff. You see, normally when I go into these things, I usually use images of myself, my own likeness, as kind of like the experiment. Uh, to kind of get the full scope of like what the program and its algorithms have to offer. And then once it's once I have a general understanding of how it operates, because I have no problem with just fucking up and distorting my own likeness to get a feel for the reins, as it were. And then once I have a strong understanding of how the program works and all the how the features operate and everything like that, I then resort to my and using an image of my ex as my core template. Like just like yesterday, I sent her 12 images of her and I turned her into a Jedi Knight. Equipped with the lightsaber and the robes and everything. Unfortunately, it wasn't the iconic kind of prequel era robes. I mean, some came off that way, but what are you gonna do? You can probably falls into the realm of a licensing thing, if I had to make a guess. And the reason why I sent her 12 is those were the 12 that came out perfect. Like they actually looked really good. I mean, they had some minor flaws, but to be fair, it seems like any of these AI programs, these AI art programs, the level of control that they give you is fundamentally like trying to hold two fucking magnets together while someone takes a picture of you holding them perfectly aligned when they're really just kind of, and it's like trying to force them to be aligned while you only have like maybe a split second for someone to snap a picture of you doing it before it all bucks up. That's what this shit feels like to me, I guess. Because I mentioned that I sent her 12. I that took me 6 hours to generate those 12. Because ultimately at the end of the day I spawned over 240 images that I tried to do my best to tailor make, and unfortunately out of 240 images that I tried to craft out, 12 of them were the only ones that were good or salvageable. The other 228 were pure fucking nightmare fuel. And that's kind of what I want to get into. It's my issue is you got so many people out there who act like AI art is the way of the future. No, I'm sorry, but no. Like, I think we're still a good while before we can actually get around to this shit getting kind of perfected. And I would say we're probably still a few years out. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely leagues beyond what it was, but we're still leagues away, many leagues away, before we're actually able to iron this shit out. I mean, let's just put it this way. I experimented with a filter that was simply called Wolf Girl, using my ex as a template because the template seemed like it was safe. I filtered myself through it first, cracked open a beer, had some laughs because it kept spawning me. It initially spawned me as a skinny waist, big tittied fucking chick, but it's got my fucking head on it. And I realized, oh, some of these prompts are specifically for men, or for men, and some of them are specifically for women. I'm not gonna lie, I had a rockin' ass body though. But I just did it just to see if everything linked up properly. No, those images don't exist, by the way. I deleted all of them and destroyed the file with a fucking flamethrower. But when I filtered her through them, there were times where it would spawn her naked, but like in an artistic, tasteful, nude way. Uh, those are also deleted because some of them came out extremely fucking weird looking. But then there would be times where it would. There's one where she's standing there and it generated her it was supposed to be like an epic pose, and instead it generated her in a fucking in like white silk lingerie with a wolf coming out of her ass. Tina, if you see this, it wasn't supposed to come out that way, and no, I don't have those. I deleted every one of those cursed images. Oh my. And I've seen this on a lot of different AI art programs and stuff like that, and it's always these varying different problems. I'm taking my watch off, and it's always eyes not being where they're supposed to be, having like fucking 12 fingers on one fucking hand, or having or hands coming out like this where you're missing a pinky, or like this, or your thumb is like aligned, like, ow, like that with your hand. I don't know who's like that, but, where their fucking thumb matches the alignment of their fingers. But, I mean, I'm sure some people were born with birth defects, but for fuck's sake, like, what the come on, man. Hell, there were times where it would generate her face, or even if I used myself, it would generate my face on something else. One image I did of it was supposed to be something else, supposed to be like a Star Wars prompt, and I used myself on it, and instead it spawned my face, like the silhouette of my face on a stormtrooper, and the body that was supposed to have my face just literally didn't have a face. It was just an empty chasm, and it threw me off. And I see this everywhere. Like there's that one, like it's a fictional movie trailer. It went viral on Twitter like a few months ago, or like earlier on in the year. And it seemed like it was the whole prospect of like an entire movie that was made through AI. And it was the most spurred out, spasmodic fucking shit I had ever fucking seen. Meanwhile, all the AI bros were fucking standing around in a fucking jerkle circ, fucking celebrating like this was some kind of victory. Meanwhile, people in the video looked incredibly distorted. They looked incredibly deformed. And they're like fucking people having three legs, people having, 4 arms or 3 arms, or, 2 mouths. And it's like, how is this monumental? Like, how is this? I remember seeing AI videos from like a few years, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, where there's the one of like fucking Will Smith eating spaghetti, but it looks like Will Smith's mongoloidal brother, fundamentally. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I first saw it, I kind of chuckled because of how ridiculous it was. But I don't really feel like we're really that much farther past that point. And in truth, it's not like I have anything against AI art, but I'm more of a traditional artist. I prefer having a pen, a paper. Hell, actually prefer painting portraits when it gets to stuff like that. Granted, I'm not really much of a, I would say, don't ever ask me to paint a self-portrait of you. I was never particularly good at drawing people or stuff like that. I've always had issues with dimensions and stuff like that. I mean, I can do it, but it's work that's going to take a long time to achieve. That's one of the main reasons I get kind of like, when I was trying to do my own indie comic, I was on the hunt for an artist that would accept genuine shit pay, or would be willing to wait for the book to be published and sell, so that I could make some money, so I could then afford to pay him or her later, down the road. Unfortunately, that never came to pass. I decided to take a dive bomb on experimenting with AI art, because I thought about trying to resurrect that comic again, thinking to see what I could do. In fact, I have an idea even for a new story. I won't say what it's about, but the story is just simply called The Witch and the Wolf. And it's a continuation of the indie comic, but it's more of a spin-off series, if anything. Maybe one day I'll go into depth about my indie comic and everything like that, if anyone actually gives a flying fuck. But so far, trying things out with AI art, I don't think we're that far along yet. And if we are, I don't have access to that kind of tech. I just don't. But I see the potential. I really do. Like I said, some of the images, I wish I could showcase them in this video if I knew how. Because some of those images, I feel like I did enough of a good job that I felt kind of proud about it. Especially given how much of a fucking tussle working with AI art fundamentally is. I find that making actual physical art with your hands is far more, not only satisfying, but it's actually far more difficult and lengthy, but all the more rewarding because you actually made it without the use of technology. Unless you count a pen or a pencil or paint and brush as a form of technology, which I guess it depends on your definition of what that is. And I guess if anything, I guess the really only reason that I'm still playing around with it, and kind of starting to lean into actually putting some serious effort into it as well. When I saw the capabilities of what it could do, especially like filtering out images of my ex through it, I found myself kind of entranced, because I still love her. And when I look at her, I see, not to sound like some kind of a fucking simp, but I see a queen. I see a goddess. I see a woman who could literally shatter my defenses the minute she speaks. Like the sound of her voice could literally stop me in my fucking tracks. And for the longest time it terrified me. She went from someone that I could talk to about anything, and she turned into someone who could literally disarm me literally by snapping her fingers if she wanted to. And I wanted to try to capture that power, that idea of her, in an image that would maybe make her feel empowered. That, perhaps if she's ever felt any kind of doubts of her own self-image, that to show her that this is how she looks to me. That I see this queen, I see this goddess, I see this Valkyrie who has me at her command at all times. Someone who literally has sole ownership of my heart. I wanted her to feel, I wanted her to see how herself, how I see her, in hopes that, again, it would make her feel empowered, but it help her understand how beautiful she is. Because she's a very humble person, she's a very modest person, and I don't think she has ever really looked at herself and felt that she was, she takes fitness serious, She's always, I remember she once said to me that she wanted to be hot enough that she could go to the beach and men would snap their necks just to try to catch a glimpse of her when she walks by. And I thought, why? You're already there. She may not have been able to see that, but I sure as fuck did. And, I don't know, I just wanted to capture that essence in a way that, as a means of giving something to her, because I'm not able to do much of anything else, at least not in this juncture. At least not without pushing envelopes, you know what I mean? But, what are you going to do? But, closing statement for AI art. It's a lot of work. It's not as rewarding as I think legitimate art, and I wish people would, just hold their pants before they get carried away. You know what I mean? Give it time, be patient. I'm sure it'll get better eventually. But, no, who knows? I just don't really feel like it's my thing. I'm more of a writer anyway. But that being said, if you guys have gotten this far, as always, thank you for watching. It's a crazy world out there. Savor the people who actually give a shit about you. Take care of yourselves, too. Stay warm. It's starting to get cold out there, especially up here in the Midwest. And bundle up. If it's cold enough, go out there and catch a look at the world around you. Colors are starting to change, so it gives you something to breathe in. And remind yourself that it's a big, beautiful world out there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a fantastic fucking night, guys.